Hey guys, Dave here from Design Upgrade Pro for H5P. This video is going to look at the course presentation options. Now, before we get into some of these options, I just want to explain a couple of things off the bat here, that anything you add in terms of text or images, these are going to use whatever styles you set in H5P. So H5P gives you the ability to change the text color, the background color of this big text area here, the border radius, the border style. So anything that you do that you can change in H5P as you're creating elements like text and images and things, that's just going to use what you have in H5P. We don't have any separate settings for that because H5P already allows you to customize those. The other thing that's important to note is that anytime you add a question type into a presentation, it's going to use whatever styles that question type is already using. We don't add anything different or do anything differently with stuff that's inside of a presentation. So for example, this is a summary and it uses the styles here for the multiple choice questions. These also get applied to summaries, and that's what you'll see going on here with the blue and the purple on hover. And then this is a mark the words, and it will also use what is already set in your mark the words settings here. We've got the green and the pink, so that's what you'll see there. So any question type that we support in our plugin where you've applied styles over here on the appropriate panel, those are going to continue to apply within your course presentations. Okay. Now, what we add specifically for course presentations, I will say first too that the border radius is going to get applied here. So on your global styles, if you've got a border radius, that will be used for your presentation. So now looking at the actual styles for a course presentation specifically, we've got sort of two different areas that we let you customize here. A slides list and then the footer. So the slides list is something that you need to enable in your H5P settings. So we tried to make that clear here. It's completely optional. You may not want a slides list, and if you don't use the slides list and show all of the slide titles, then don't worry about these settings because they won't apply to you. But what we're referring to with the slides list is down here we can click on this and it opens up this side panel. So this is what we're referring to as the slides list. So right now we've got three options for background type: transparent white, black, and solid color. So this is the example of the transparent black option. It's a black color, but you can see through it to what's behind it on the actual presentation slide. The same exact thing is going to happen only for transparent white. This is going to be white and slightly see-through. And then if you choose solid color, that is going to use the slides list background right here. So that'll be your solid color if you've chosen solid color here. When you have transparent white or transparent black, then don't worry about setting this because it doesn't apply. This is only used for the solid color option here for background type. And then we've got two additional things here: slide number and slide title. So the slide number is the word slide with the number after it. So slide 1, slide 2, slide 3, and slide 4. It's just smaller, all capitalized text up here at the top. And then the slide title is what you actually type in as your title. So for example, slip in slide 1, Elementor Pro, slide 3, and slide 4, Booyah. Those are our slide titles. So these are going to be your text colors. There's a lighter gray and then a white, as you'll see for these three options right here. The next three options are all for the hover and the current state. So the currently selected slide will have these states as well as when you hover over them. So you'll see when I hover these, they take on some different styles, and then slide 1 is our active or current slide. That's why it has different styles. So these next three options here, slide background, slide number, and slide title, that's what happens on hover and for the current slide. So we've got white here for the background, dark gray for the slide number, which you'll see up there, and then this lighter blue for the actual title, which you'll see right here. So that covers it for the slides list. Before I get into slide footer, I do want to mention that this red and yellow bar that you see down here, we consider this the progress bar. So this is not customizable within the course presentation panel, but what we're doing for this progress bar down here is using our progress bar settings on this panel. So we've got our container color is yellow and our bar color is red. So as you progress through these different slides, you'll see that this changes from yellow to red as we progress through. So that's where the progress bar settings are. We do some slight customizations to these little titles that pop up that you'll see here with the dark background and white text as you hover over each of the different slides. We made a few adjustments there. We're using your border radius there and just cleaned up some of the spacing for those. So that's the progress bar. Going back to the presentation, that final piece is the footer. So what we're referring to is everything underneath this progress bar. It's in this dark gray background. This is our footer. So this dark gray background, we can change that by changing the footer background color. So that's just going to fill in this whole entire area. And the next three options are all for text and link or button elements. So the footer text, you may think that like this right here is footer text, and technically it is text. However, what we've done is anything that is clickable or has an action that you can take, we consider a link or a button. So this, for example, opens up the slides list and it's clickable. So because it has an action associated with it and you can click on it, it is considered a link or a button. So it's using this medium blue and then gets lighter blue when you hover. So same thing for the links and the buttons. When you hover over this arrow to navigate to the next slide, there'll be a previous slide arrow right here. These are all going to use our blue for the links and buttons. Same thing with the print and the full screen. Again, these are buttons and you can actually do actions with them, so they're going to use the blue. The only thing down here that is plain text that doesn't have an action is the 1/5, which indicates which numbered slide you are on. So that uses the orange for the footer text right here. The last thing I want to show you with the course presentation is on the summary page. So the very final part of the course presentation is this summary we get to from here. And we've just cleaned this page up a little bit and made some adjustments to some of the text to make it a little bit more legible. We're using on your global styles, you have the option to set a main text color. So we're using that for all of these different items here for the text. And then, also in your global styles, we've got link color and hover link color. That's what we're using for all of your slides that you can click on and link to, which have questions on them to double check your solutions and look at your score. We're using the global link color and hover link color for these. And then finally, these right down here, these are going to use the styles from the buttons panel. So that will get applied to the show solutions and the retry button there. So that covers it for the course presentation.